Welcome back to another episode of the Geek Centurions. It's your boy Eli.
It's me, Joe.
Hey, it's me, Daniel.
And good to have you back, Daniel. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We were out for a while because of a certain storm that hit Texas. Sorry if you heard that. And we kind of didn't weren't able to do anything. That when we had the power, and the power was out. We were a little sad. We can talk to each other. But when the power came back, we were able to have ourselves a little fun in a little game called Guilty Gear Strive. More or less a beta. And we thought it'd be fun to talk about that because, like, let's face it, all three of us were playing that game throughout this weird moment here in Texas. And my God, was it? There's a lot of stuff to talk about. Mainly, what our experiences are, the goods and the bads, my thoughts on the games, and why netcode needs to be a thing because the netcode in that game was so good. It was, it's the reason why.
Flawless.
Flawless. And so let's start off with the goods. So obviously this is a beta, it's not the full game, so we can't really give our thoughts on the game entirely. We are not game reviewers. I don't think any of us, well, maybe one of us, but I don't think any of us can cut it as game reviewers.
I mean, yeah, I guess we don't have. Is there? We aren't games journalists, right?
We are not no.
We are not Polygon or Kotaku. We just
Like,
are like
we're not critics, but we can give you ideas of what games we like and
That's
if we
all we can do.
recommend them or not.
And that's why we're here talking about Guilty Gear Strive, because that was a game that we've all been hyped up since it was announced at Evo 2018? 19, never mind. Yeah, it feels a lot
19.
longer.
Yeah, well, it was originally supposed to come out last year. Yeah, it got delayed, but
Yeah.
I think it's a bit for the better.
Definitely better. And so let's just start off with you, Dan. What was something that you really enjoyed from this beta? Something that you would be really excited to see when the game officially comes out in April?
Let's see. One of the things about fighting games is that I love to play games online and having to deal with delay-based, fighting games for years since the 360 and PS3 era. It's finally great that we're getting seeing more developers actually putting in
And
rollback
we will be
netcode
talking about
and
rollback.
holy
We will
shit,
be talking about rollback.
yeah, like the netcode is really great. Yeah, like the netcode is really great. I'm not an expert in how they work or code all that, but it's very flawless. I play with people across pretty much around the world, from Japan to Europe,
Mm-hmm.
Australia, and it pretty much seems like it's like I'm sitting right next to them. That's how good it was.
Oh yeah, I fully agree with that. Joy, what were some things that you really liked about this game?
For me, I mean, yeah, I think I just liked. I mean, obviously, the visuals are absolutely fantastic. It's
Oh yeah,
it's crazy to me how Arc System works. Just
the developers of the game.
yeah, are just really pushing the boundaries with their sort of how they animate and their fighting games. It's pretty insane. Uh, I will say that I think I do agree with the netcode stuff. Netcode is pretty fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like it, it definitely is like it's night and day when you compare it to even like previous Arc System Works games or even like other fighting games that use the latest netcode. It's sort of like, wow, why haven't any of these developers been doing this? While Mortal Kombat's over here being like, we've been doing this since like Mortal Kombat X. Where you guys been at?
Mm-hmm. Killer Instinct be like, bro, we mastered it. Where were you?
Skullgirls is just we're an indie game and we figured this
Yes,
out.
girls with their GGPO.
Yeah,
Them fighting herds.
it's kind of like when you just sort of just see just how many other like games have rollback, and then you sort of see one of these bigger Japanese studios implementing rollback well, and it's like, man, we could have been like this in like previous games, but I mean, thankfully it's here now.
Mm-hmm. Now, I think it's my turn. Really, everything I love. Really, the moment I finally got to start up the game, I when I actually got to start to actually go up against someone, online because I started off with just 1v1, me and Joey over here. We wanted to get a feel of the game. The feel of the game was so good. The controls were so good. And be like, it's so good, it's so good. No, it's like the controls for the game is so great. The animation is always great because Arc System Works is this weird way of like somehow blending like 3D models to look very anime-esque in a way that a lot of Japanese animated studios have yet to fully grasp on, but these guys got it like nailed down. It's night and day for comparing whenever you look at something like,
I mean, yeah, definitely. Just look at the game they made for Bandai with Dragon Ball
oh my
Fighter
god,
Z.
that is like insanely good. But you can always still see like a level of,
Yeah, when I first saw it, like, yeah, like when you first see it, it's like, holy shit, it's just like the actual anime itself.
yeah, no, and like don't get me wrong, the Fighters is still one of the best looking games because there's a little bit of moments where you can tell like it's very like, you know, 3D models. With the Guilty Gear Strive, there's still moments like that, but they know how to hide it well, and I'm just like my mind is just blown at the look of that. And a lot of the characters there are interesting to look at. It was fun playing Nogoriyuki, Soul, Giovanna, Kai. They're all so fun to play. Each one has a very distinct thing about them. And honestly, the moment I decided to go online, and I'm with you guys, the rollback netcode. Oh my god, that was I never like so like I've mostly played a lot of Killer Instinct when it comes to rollback netcode, and I love Killer Instinct. But the way and this is not downgrading Killer Instinct. It's not saying I'm not saying anything bad about them, but like Joey said, when you have one of these big Japanese fighting game companies make a game with the rollback netcode, it's just wow. Like I can't really describe it really. I can only say is wow because like the execution of it, like Daniel said, it's like this dude. Because I decided to play, like I said, I decided to play against someone from Japan. I made it so that I'm at this Japanese servers. I got in there, faced somebody, and I'm like, all right, time to this out. Because the whole thing about Road About Echo is it's gonna be hard when someone's really far away. And Jesus Christ, that was the most smoothest game I've ever played in a long time. There was barely any delay. It was like Daniel said, right next to me. And honestly, I think that's the overall takeaway of the beta was that the rollback netcode was amazing. And yeah, there's nothing else for me to say. The gameplay was great. The rollback netcode is going to be the one thing I'm going to be so hopeful that stays consistent when the game is released. Hopefully it will. I don't know yet.
Yeah, like so far, like from the closed beta that I played last year, they seem to be improving a lot of things that we were saying before, like the user interface from before.
Mm.
If I remember correctly, I didn't like how the burst meter was lining up with your health bar. So basically, while you're playing the game and as you're getting hits and everything, that meter letting you know when you can burst, it just kept moving along. So not only you gotta watch out, keep your eyes out of where your opponent is doing and everything like that. You also have to keep moving your eyes, just to make sure like where's your burst meter and you know how much if you can do it or not. And
Mm-hmm.
so far they fixed the
No, yeah, and you played.
yeah, like they have the burst meter now on a fixed spot. I I remember having gripes about the the way how they handle combos. I mean, not the system itself, but the way they say like how long is your combo is. I didn't really like the idea of like the the numbers just getting bigger and bigger and it just ticked up the whole damn screen as longer your combos gets. But yeah, like over time as I was playing with this beta, I just ignored it completely. Yeah, you see it, but it doesn't bother you.
Yeah, no, and this I never really know. I never got a chance to play the first beta, but having played this one, I'm very hopeful for the game, and hopefully a lot more Japanese companies will learn about rollback netcode, and we'll talk more about that as we go along.
Hmm.
Joe, anything else to say before we might head into the bags?
Uh, music is I mean, listen, like the music's just it's like it's a home run. It's freaking crazy just how Granted, I will say I kind of wish there was a bit more music. I mean, we do get like the full length tracks for Giovanna and Naruyuki. I just like wish we could hear like I don't know like Kai's theme, Milia's theme, May's theme.
Leo's theme.
Yeah, because
Faust.
no,
can't-
no, Faust is in.
No,
Faust
Faust is in there. Like his song is Colors. It's in the game. It was in the beta.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, there's only Smell of the Game, Clip's theme, Potemkin's theme,
Mhm.
Giovanna's theme. So
Mhm.
I kind of want to like hear the other themes.
Mm-hmm.
I,
I can't wait for Eno's theme.
oh yeah, Eno's like at least from what we hear from the trailer, it definitely sounds pretty cool. So
Yeah, speaking
yeah,
of Vino, I'm so sorry, Biking fans. I'm very sorry, Elfeld fans. But I believe me when I say this that I do feel your pain when they didn't bring back Phoenix Wright for Infinite.
yeah.
I just want Mama biking.
Like
That's all I want.
to be honest, I was kind of fine because I had Kai and I had Milia, and I was like, listen, if Elfit just somehow manages to show up, it will be funny to me. But I mean, if she doesn't show up, then I'm fine with it. I mean, she'll probably be like what the third DLC character because I mean, you gotta be like Biking, Johnny, Elfelt, and like probably Venom and somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Maybe a new character.
Maybe a new character. Maybe they bring one of the older characters back.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause there's still like a couple really old Guilty Gear characters that haven't shown up in the game in a while.
Who was it? The one that everybody wanted that was in Guilty Gear 2? Yo-Yo trick. Bridget.
Oh, you mean Bridget?
Yeah, Bridget. Everyone wanted Bridget back.
Yeah, like that was one of the most top requested characters up there.
In Japan, at least, because Bridget's a trap.
Yeah, I think in Japan. Yeah, I'm not sure about here. I know in the States and I think Europe they wanted Biken to come back.
Oh,
yeah.
Biking was.
Yeah.
To be fair, we have vampire samurai guy, so that's good enough for me.
In terms of in terms of samurai.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But Robin,
it's not biking. It's not biking.
I mean, to be fair, Biken's gameplay is very sort of like focused on just countering attacks, while Nago's is very sort of managing your blood meter,
Mm-hmm.
and once it.
Oh my
like he's
God,
pretty much just a glass cannon character.
Yeah. His second special blew my mind when I saw how much damage it did. It is a 50% damage take. I was like, what in the hell? That's only if you landed though. I'll give it that, but I'm just like, that is insane. Imagine comboing into that. You can combo into the instant death with that.
Well, I still think it's crazy. Like if you turn on like I forgot what it's called. It was called Blood Rage. His meter on, like he can still deal like significant damage even if you're blocking.
Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ, I can't wait. Oh my God. So you can clearly say we all really enjoyed this beta, but there were some bad. Now they don't overshadow the good, thank Christ. But there was some really bads, especially on the online side. For me, it was the lobby system. I hated the lobby system. It really kind of ruined the momentum of the games at the time. Like I would go up against this really cool dude from wherever, and I'm like, "Yo, okay, I might have lost. If I can keep going, if I can run it back, I can go ahead and take the win." But once the game is over, I'm back on the main menu screen, like looking at my character, because like the whole point is that you make a character and you can walk around and talk to people and challenge them to fight and follow them or whatever. And the moment I lose, that dude's like disappears, or like I can't have to wait for him to initiate the rematch. We don't go into instant rematch. He's like, no, once you're out, you got to do this whole process over again. I'm like, but that ruins the moment for me. I don't know. What was your guys'
Well, it was pretty bad because yeah, I remember like seeing that lobby for the first time from the last beta. From I think I said last year. I was shocked. I was like, this can't be the lobby. Just I thought it was the April Fool's joke because they showed it before in one of their videos, and it was actually a thing. And I was hoping like maybe the delay would fix those lobby issues, at least try to make it more a little better, similar to the lobby systems they had before, like in Persona 4 Arena or Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. Because at least with those it works, but yeah, I don't like this lobby that he got. It's, oof. I mean,
Don't get me
it.
wrong, it's a cool idea.
I mean, it's
Like,
neat, but it's still, uh, like, I didn't have a problem with it as much before with the last beta, but it works better. But there's some weird stuff that happens, like when I'm trying to, play a fight with sometimes there will be like an error or some weird issue with connecting with the other player.
I was gonna say there was one issue I did have. It's where everyone gangs up on this one person just to fight them, and like you never have an opportunity to go out and go out. Not saying you know it's a long line, but like it's like five dudes immediately challenging a dude, and you have to like pray to the fighting game gods that you'll be able to at least go accept the challenge. And if not, you gotta go walk around somewhere else because like it's gonna take them a while.
Yeah,
And
I mean, at least I remember when I saw Max play the Grand Blue Fantasy demo, not demo, beta. The lobby system was kind of similar to from the previous games I was telling you. People actually formed lines and everything, so you were actually able to tell like who's next and so on. But with this one, it seems like everyone can just gang up on each other, and there's no order or anything like that.
no, Joey, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you guys. The lobby system is like it's cool in theory that you can move through these lobbies. The more you win and the better you are, like the higher you can go up in the lobbies and stuff, which is like a neat sort of way of like progression. But yeah, at the same time, it's just very annoying. And I think that's sort of I think my view on it. It's just super annoying to try to play a game because you want to play the game, but you have to go through all this annoying uh, nonsense to like play the game. And like you said, when there is a match against a player that you're like really invested into, and you want to like do a run back, and you have to like go through this process again, or they leave. It's not great. Like I mean, I've played uh, Grand Blue Fantasy versus online uh, with the lobby system, and yeah, I mean it's definitely a lot better than this because even in that game you have like the ability to instant rematch once you're playing a set. Granted, you will get kicked off of like because essentially just a bunch of arcade cabinets essentially where you get on each machine with your little avatar and then you play a game and you get knocked out after like because usually they're like best of threes. But still, you can either just like either jump back on, or if there's a line, you can go back to the back of the line or challenge somebody else or whatever. So it's like I definitely get what they wanted to do, like just like have this like sort of neat interactive little lobby thing. But at the same time, it's sort of like really like
It's counterintuitive.
yeah. And I will say this, like I think I played a bit of the quick match where you're essentially put into the training mode and sort of waiting for matches. And
That was a lot better.
it's better, but at the same time, it still suffers from the issue of instant rematch, where you can't instant rematch players because essentially what it does, if I remember correctly from hearing from other people, is that when you're doing the quick match thing, you're essentially just being put into the lobby at a spot, waiting with your little sword up, ready to challenge the fight, and then people come to you and challenge you. I'm pretty sure that's how it works when you're doing quick match.
I
And
mean,
I
they
really
tried to alleviate that with their own follow system. So instead of having like set up friend requests and then have them send back and then just have an extra friend in there just for one game, you have this follow system. So basically, after you play a match with them in a lobby, you can follow them after the match, and then they'll be on your follow list, and you can mark them out as a friend or rival, and then from there you can see if they're online or offline, and see if you want to fight with them online or not.
Mm.
I mean, that is definitely neat. Like you can like, especially if it's like someone you feel like you're similar like skill levels,
Mm-hmm.
so you can be like, yes, I can improve by playing against you and like learn from my mistakes and stuff like that. But yeah, I feel like when it comes to the quick match settings, that I feel like it should at least have a pool of people who are also playing in quick match instead of just throwing you into the lobby and have you in there. I don't know. Like it just, if anything, I just want to know how how ranked match is going to be.
Right. I haven't tried ranked matches. Have you tried ranked matches?
There's no ranked match thing. No, there was.
No, there is a ranked match. We just haven't tried it.
Yeah, like it's not. It wasn't accessible in the beta, if I recall correctly, right?
I don't remember. I think it was, yeah, because otherwise I would have told you it was in development, but I didn't see that when selecting.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, because usually a lot of these games have like a ranked mode where you have like a ranking system. So I don't know. I just want to see how that works out.
It's so weird that the rollback was so good, but the online lobby was the one thing holding back. I think that's something you can say with a lot of Arc System games, is that the lobbies are kind of always questionable at best.
I mean, they can be fun. It's just that, yeah, it is a bit odd when you just want to just casually just jump into a match. Because I mean, Street Fighter doesn't do a lobby system. It basically just has casual match and ranked match. You go into casual match, you play people, just like that, and ranked match, you play for your rank.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know.
I kind of wish there was like this personal. Sorry, you want to finish or?
You can go down.
Sorry. Yeah, I was just saying. I wish there was some weird personal lobby system, kind of like the one they have in KI or Marvel vs. Capcom 3, because there you have like a close group and you can invite close friends or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm surprised they weren't. Like, I feel like those have to be in the game, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that they can add. That probably will help, especially if some people want to do like online tournaments and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because imagine trying to run an online tournament in the current lobby system. That's just like that would be like so like disorganized.
Mm-hmm.
At least with like a personal lobby, you can have all that stuff in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird too because I think they actually did a system like that before for Persona 4 Arena. I could be wrong, but I think they did it for Persona 4 before though.
Mm.
Yeah. I feel like they should. Does Dragon Ball Fighters have personal lobbies? I feel like it does, right?
It's been a while. I want to say it does.
Yeah, so I feel like that's probably one thing that can be added between now and release date. It probably seems like kind of easy to do for them.
Or just implement a rematch.
I mean, instant rematch definitely will help. It's just that I don't know. I think a lot of people just kind of want to skip out. There's probably a good chunk of people that just want to skip out on lobbies and just be like, I just want to play a match. I don't want to have to go into a lobby and just find some dude. You know? Some people just want convenience.
Mm-hmm. So let's move on to the next one. Oh, go ahead, Dan. I'll let you finish before I move on.
No, yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, the lobbies still isn't as good as I wanted it to be, but the netcode's fine, and that's probably the most important thing, for the online of the game.
So obviously, netcode is a very important thing. Essentially, if we're able to connect with someone from the opposite side of the world and play like if it was like the person's right here next to us, that is what we want, and that's what we always wanted. And to see it in a basically a AAA game like Guilty Gear Strive with what the stuff that Arc Systems can do, it's a godsend. It really is. I don't know, Dan. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, like I said before at the beginning, been playing fighting games for a long time, especially online, and seeing how pretty much the majority of them in the past were delay based, and we didn't start seeing any rollback stuff until around maybe with Skullgirls or Third Strike Online Edition. So it's very nice to see that we're starting to see lots more companies adopting this, rollback netcode. Like we see them a lot with the West with games like Killer Instinct, the Fighting Herds, Mortal Kombat. I think that, but because more of the games that we like to play are from pretty much, which is pretty much the majority of fighting games, are made in Japan. It kind of it kind of hurts saying, knowing that we keep telling them that we want rollback netcode. It'll be great for us as players and everything, and it's taken them such a long time to finally say, you know what, let's give rollback netcode a try.
Yeah, what do you think that is, Johnny?
Oh, I think uh, it just I think a lot of it just has to do with I think sort of the mentality of these Japanese devs being like, well, I think it's like two uh, reasons actually. One is I think more relevant than the other. Um, the first one being that it's often said that you know Japan likes to focus on like Japanese games like sometimes will tend to focus on just Japan itself as a market and not really care much for the overseas market. So a lot of people sort of make mention of that when it comes to late-based netcode because the late-based netcode is fine when you're playing against people that are close to you, and oftentimes it's cited that that's sort of the reason why a lot of Japanese fighting game devs sort of don't really invest in rollback because, well, if we're going to be playing these online with other Japanese people, then it should be fine. Granted, it doesn't really account for like say random bad connections, which will make the lay-based netcode worse. But it's sort of a reason. And I think the second reason, and the more bigger reason, is just sort of like there might be this mentality of like if we didn't make it, then we're not gonna use it kind of thing. Like when you look at Capcom with Street Fighter Five, and it's because Street Fighter Five has rollback netcode, but it's not like GGPO, and they didn't get anybody else to help them make it. They made it in house, and when it's when it's a 4 or 5 bar connection, it does work well. But when you start getting to like the 2 or 3 bar connections, it sometimes gives you like you're gonna get a lot of random teleporting stuff happening because the rollback is not good enough to account for any sort of weird disconnects or changes between two players. Unlike Strive, which for the most part does feel like you're playing offline. So yeah, it's sometimes I think sort of these Japanese fighting game developers are sort of just like we don't really care much for rollback because that's sort of a overseas kind of thing, and we're not gonna invest in it if we didn't make it, which like kind of sucks. But obviously, hopefully, a lot of other Japanese developers are seeing just the praise that Guilty Gear Strive, the beta, has gotten from its rollback netcode, and being like, okay, then I mean, I guess we can try this out. If everybody's loving it, we might actually invest in it.
I think it also has to do with like a lot of the way that Japan has their fighting game situations. That everyone's really close to each other. Everyone has a place to go, a place to play. Especially since for them the arcade scene, and me and Dan, we've talked about this before. The arcade scene is still pretty much alive and well in Japan. So, and that's how most of the fighting games start off. They don't start off to go straight to the console or Steam. They go straight off to be in the cabinets, the arcades. That's how Tekken 7 started off. It started off in the arcade, and they're like, okay, once we get this down, we're gonna send it straight to the consoles, straight to to people's computers, and it was made for that, and it was never made for online. That's why a lot of the best players are coming from Japan and Korea because they can at least play with each other, but not from here. Because a lot of because there is no rollback netcode for that. The netcode for Tekken 7 is pretty bad.
But I've heard, yeah.
So it's like
Me, yeah.
seeing it now, and go ahead now.
No, that's it. Like, yeah, like even to this day, we're still seeing like updates of of them trying to make their rollback netcode a little bit better for Tekken. They even went as far, try to help players out so that way they know if they're playing with a wired or a Wi-Fi player, they know they can, I know most people do it. I don't know about y'all, but like some people they prefer to just play with other wired players, so they would just straight up blow off the
Yeah.
Wi-Fi players.
Hmm. I mean, I go either way, bro. It doesn't really matter. But it's
But
it's
yeah,
it's
like
really no. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm trying to
uh,
form my thoughts.
but yeah, like we're seeing like these developers, like they do listen and they do try, but yeah, they would rather make their own than use GGPO, which is completely free for anyone to use, and that's why we're seeing some weird issues with Street Fighter Five or Tekken Seven.
Hmm. And and to be honest, it looks like we're slowly making the strides. If Guilty Gear can pull it off, then we'll be fine. Because like I said, when I first started playing online, I immediately went to the Japanese lobbies because I was like, I want to see how this because that's the reason it was delayed. It's because of they decided to implement rollback netcode, and I was like, okay, let's test it out, and it was great. It was great. I want to see more of this, and hopefully we will, and hopefully this is going to be the situation the reason as to why it will grow into a lot of other Japanese fighting games. And thankfully we this is a probably a great stride. Hey, no, okay, no,
To be
okay,
fair, you mean stride or strive?
a great stride.
All right.
Yeah, still bad fun.
Yeah,
All right, okay, bad fun.
I
Bad
mean,
fun.
yeah.
But anyway, this is going to be this is the moment where I think a lot of Japanese fighting game developers are going to start implementing that. Heck, Joe was telling me that a lot of people are begging for the next KOF to have rollback.
Yeah, like if you go
Oh yeah,
onto the game page,
definitely. If you played Samurai Showdown online, yeah, you're practically begging for for SNK to use rollback. 'Cause, oh boy, Sam's show's rough online.
I've heard the netcode for Sam Show is very bad.
That it is. That
But
it is.
yeah, like ever since the Stride beta came out, if you go to the SNK Twitter and whenever they're posting announcements and stuff, you'll see a ton of comments and being like, "Hey, can you add rollback to KOF 15? That'd be really great." And like SNK, like I think definitely might be doing that mainly because recently they've been just putting rollback into a bunch of older games. I think the most recent one being the KOF 2002
Mm-hmm.
game. Uh,
That's what it was.
like
Yeah, and Garo,
yeah,
Mark of the Wolves.
yeah. And I think they're done by a separate company. Code Mystics, I think, is the name of the company. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
I
I
don't
don't remember.
remember, but
I
like I
do
know
know
like
that.
they did look out for other people to put in the netcode. Kind of similar to
Yeah.
what Guilty Gear did for Accent Core. They found like a bunch of modders, trying to put in rollback netcode into there. Then Arxis talked with them and said to to make it an actual patch for the game, and that's what they did. So they had some betas where they're uh, they had some betas for Arc like Accent Core, to make see how it worked with rollback netcode. It was great. So it officially came out as a patch for the game on Steam.
Yeah. So I mean, the fact that they are like they have added rollback to these older games, I feel like at least for SNK's sake, they kind of get like rollback, the need for rollback and stuff. So I mean, it's entirely possible that KOF 15 will have rollback. It's just that um, I think a lot of people just want like the official confirmation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, we don't even know like which consoles KOF 15 will be on either. We're just getting character trailers for like the past couple of weeks. It's sort of just like, I mean, they just like keep on saying shatter all expectations.
And
Well,
listen,
are you gonna shatter the expectation that you will have good rollback netcode? SNK, is that what you're gonna do?
that would shatter my expectations.
Yeah,
Yeah, that definitely will shatter mine too. And at this point, I think these devs, they actually have to factor in rollback netcode into the games now because we're still in a pandemic. Not a lot of people, not a lot of people want to go ahead and meet in person for tournaments and stuff like that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we saw what happened last year with when they tried to make Evo online. They pretty much took the majority of all the the main 9 games for Evo, and it was just them fighting her,
Which was very
Skullgirls, Killer
heavy.
Instinct, yeah, and Mortal Kombat 11. So they knew like those decodes for those games weren't that great, so they weren't able to host an online tournament with those. That's why they got switched out for the 4 other games that I just brought up. So when
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah, no,
so when people that
all those are Japanese developed.
yeah, so like all these people, they need to factor in right now that the way that your game plays online is now a big factor in on how people will play your games and the longevity of its life and everything.
Mm-hmm. And I will say this: I am so glad for rollback netcode being a thing now. And it technically has been a thing for a long time, so like all the way back to like Iron Galaxy, the guys who would take over, you know, Killer Instinct for Double Helix. They were one of the first few people to implement something like rollback netcode, especially in Third
Yeah,
Strike Online.
Hmm.
So
yeah,
like
Third
just to
Strike
see like,
Online
and they were
and
the guys
Skullgirls too.
that made GGPO too, right?
No,
No,
I think it's the
no,
Cannon brothers.
Okay.
uh, yeah, like it was the same group that did Skullgirls, right? That made a rollback.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, like it was. Yeah, they made GGPO and they knew lots of fighter games needs it, so they just put it out for the open, completely free for people to use.
Hmm. Yeah, because that's what they've been using for them fighting herds, which is a game I've never played, but I heard the netcode is really good.
Isn't it also in?
It is.
Isn't it also in Power Rangers?
It is true. That is very true.
That is true. Power Rangers Battle for the Grid does have rollback.
And it surprisingly works well whenever you're doing crossplay.
And strangely enough, Nintendo's party fighting game, I guess that's who we label it, Arms, that's also rollback.
You're shitting me.
Yeah, it's weird. You think Smash Brothers would have a rollback, but no, Arms has it. But it's a fighting game, so I guess they kind of needed it too.
Yeah, from what I've heard about the Smash netcode, I think Sakurai might have mentioned that they had considered putting rollback, but the problem is the items. Like the items would like whenever you would use an item, like sometimes like it just wouldn't react well with like rollback or whatever. Like the rollback couldn't handle whenever items were active or whatever.
Hmm.
Which, I mean, there are people who play Smash Online with all items on and hazards and stuff like that.
I mean,
So
it's not a problem at all. I mean, yeah. I know some people like to play Smash with items and everything.
I mean, yeah,
I
obviously
mean,
you want to have like a fun time.
Yeah, especially with the kids coming
yeah.
by. You don't want to go try hard, so you just like let me play Luigi with all items on instead of going to car stopping with Little Mac, even though they can just knock me out real easily.
I mean, Little Mac is low tier as all hell, so I don't know why
He
you
is
bring
low
up.
tier king, and I will continue to play as him.
Okay, whatever.
I'll just throw you off stage. But anyway,
Yeah.
I, I will find a way to come back up, even if it means dying.
yeah, keep dreaming, buddy.
No, no, no. I, I, Gio, I was gonna put a JoJo Part Five. I have a dream of being this. No, but
Yeah, and
I
Sephiroth
mean,
has a 12-foot long sword, so have fun trying to get around that.
was able to beat him in the highest difficulty. I can do it again.
Well,
It wasn't even that
literally.
hard.
Yeah, I was about to say this wasn't even that hard
20 tries.
with just Little Mac.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's basically sort of the situation with
Mhm.
rollback and Smash. Like, like it's like Sakurai like just couldn't like get it to work well. I mean, who knows? Maybe eventually it could
Mhm.
work. Like I don't know,
I
maybe
mean,
If they
I
can
mean,
build
like,
upon it.
I'm not sure. I mean, like, they have rollback netcode made already. It's a mod for Melee, called Slippy, and
Mhm.
that's what people have been using to play Melee online these days. But
Mhm.
I don't know. Like, maybe because of the items, they kind of have. I don't know. Like, I guess if one way to go around it is to just have normal delay base for items, and then switch over to rollback if they're playing with no items on. But then again, I don't know if that will work at all, or if that's how
We're
if that's even
probably have to go
possible.
back to. We're probably have to go back to four glory days.
Oh yeah, I was literally gonna say like I feel like in order for that to work, I think we have to go back to the Smash 4 days of like for fun where all items on, all that stuff, and for glory where it's just battlefield and omega modes of stages, no items on, and
I mean, like if the items were just the main problem with rollback netcode for Smash, I mean, all you got to do is just turn items off on your settings, and that's it. We don't really need like to have a four glory or anything like that.
To be fair, to be fair, how many people are online playing with items?
probably a good chunk. I mean, I do remember trying to play Smash Online one time, and obviously like you tune the settings to being like 1v1 and stuff, and sometimes I would literally get mad put in a free for all, a 4-player free for all, and I was like, well, I
Time
mean,
to die.
well, this is fun, I guess, but I mean, it happens sometimes.
No, I'm Little Mac. I gotta fight for my life.
I mean, it's like, Smash at least Ultimate, I think, is definitely an issue because honestly, I'm not really that surprised that like melee modders were able to make Slippy because one melee fans will do anything to keep melee alive, even if it means selling their own souls. Uh,
Looking at you, Hungry Box.
well, I mean, I don't think Hungrybox sold his soul to the devil. Well, maybe to win
Not
to
that
be
we
the number
know.
one player in the world, maybe. I don't know, but
Or-
If he didn't, he deserved to be bought.
okay. But yeah, because I mean, obviously the melee competitive rule set is no items on, and so obviously I think for them it was a lot easier, I guess, to circle that around. I don't know. Maybe Sakurai should just at least hit the Slippy guys, being like, "How'd you figure it out?
How'd you do it?
How'd you do it?"
I'm hiring you.
I don't know.
No, and I mean that's the dream. That would be a lot more rollback games. I mean we really hit strides earlier with like KI, Mortal Kombat, Skullgirls. Those games have rollback netcode, and we've since then been preaching the good word of rollback netcode, and thankfully the Japanese devs have been able to hear us, and hence why they had started doing the whole developers roundtable with like all these different Japanese developers for fighting games from Sega, SNK, um,
well,
Capcom.
Sega not yet. We're still waiting for them to come out with Virtual Fighter.
Listen, if Microsoft can buy them, then we're good. They have no other choice but to do Virtual Fighter.
I mean, Microsoft has said they
They're not
want
gonna
to
buy
adapt.
Sega. Just give up on the dream. You're never getting Persona. But I hope it comes to Xbox though, because I want people to play Persona.
Listen, all right, like Nintendo has Shin Megami Tensei, PlayStation has a Persona game. Why not just get Atlas to make a exclusive Xbox like game within that world?
You
Yeah,
did. You had Shin Megami Tensei 9 back on the original Xbox.
Well, shite.
the, the the one game that no one, I don't think anyone is translating or wants to translate because it was stuck on Xbox.
wasn't there another game called Devil Survivor or something like that?
Devil Survivor. Oof. Oh, there was. I just can't remember. I think it was a DS game. It's like a tactical RPG.
Hey, yeah, we're going way off topic. Just give
But
that to us.
anyway, we're going off topic. Yeah.
Persona 5, Persona 4 Ultimax. This is how that's a good fun game.
Yeah. Definitely make another make a sequel to Persona.
Like
Four.
Grid Series. I wish a lot of people would play it, but Alice and Sega doesn't seem to like the idea of putting multiple games on multiple systems. So I don't know.
Mm.
We'll wait for them to learn. I mean, Persona 4 Golden was successful on Steam, so hopefully that's their wake up call.
Yeah, and hopefully going back to the rollback, a lot more fighting games are going to be able to implement them, and hopefully that makes a lot more people willing to play fighting games. And I mean that's what we all want. We all want to play our favorite fighting games without any delay based netcode. Because I play a lot of fighting games, and I know a lot of people who are casual with the fighting game, when it comes to fighting games, then a lot of them don't like to play online.
Well, yeah.
So this will be a good incentive for us to play online. Because that's honestly, if you ever want to get good, go online.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like I
I
think
mean,
that
yeah, I mean, like single player, that's a great place to learn, but if you want to improve, you got to get out there online and get your ass kicked and get a couple of bruises, man. That's how you learn.
Listen, it doesn't matter if you get 20 losing streak. You're gonna get good.
Like I get it, yeah. Like you go online, you keep seeing the word you lose like 50 times. That shit sucks. It stings and everything, and it will piss you off. But that's just your path towards, to becoming something greater.
Hmm.
in order to learn to win, you must learn to lose.
Thank you, Mr. Miyagi. Wait.
No, wait, that's not true. But anyways, yeah. I mean, if anything, I just it's funny hearing like at least a lot of people being like, hey, especially the arc system where it's like, hey, can you put rollback in Blaze Blue Cross Tag or DBZ Fighters or Grand Blue Fantasy, especially Grand Blue Fantasy versus because I remember playing that earlier in 2020 and I was like, this is fun, but the delay-based netcode really sucks, and it sadly is I think half the reason why there's not a lot of people playing that game anymore, which is
Yeah.
sad because it looks nice.
Listen, you're doing a lot of stuff to make fighters popular again because it's kind of like died down a bit, really. Like there's not as much hype there is anymore. But getting rollback netcode would really bring it back up.
Yeah, I think rollback
No,
is
definitely, man.
yeah, rollback is
Because
universally
there's only
like
so
really
much you
good.
could do with like further updates. Because like Place Lacrosse, I love that game. I wish it would have rollback. But after a while, you want to play like other games because the online isn't as good as you wanted it to be. It brought me back for a bit
Oh,
with Blitz Tank, a little fucking tank for a character in a fighting game, which I had a lot of fun with. But then I just got excited for another fighting game, and then I started playing that a lot more because of its rollback.
I mean, I've said it earlier. If it wasn't for the lobby, I'd be still. The debate is over, but there are moments where I like would stop playing because of the lobby would be so bad for me. But if the lobby was great, holy shit, I'd be playing that shit for hours. This guy will literally fight me to get the controller again.
I mean, if you're gonna be hogging the peak of the PlayStation all the time, then I mean, obviously, I gotta get out of here.
Next thing I know, there's a bat in my head.
You know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
for that good ass netcode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And really, it's all hope. It's all hopes and dreams right now. Hopefully, because as I said before, Street Fighter Five, really fun game. If they had rollback netcode, good rollback netcode, we'd be like, yes.
Yeah, you can only get like that experience on Street Fighter Five if you're playing against a guy with a 5 bar connection. Like, like if once you start going down the lower ones, it's just not great. It sucks too because there was that fan made mod that actually fixed the netcode and actually made it like really good. But then Capcom decided, nope, not today, sir, to get rid of the mod. And it's like,
And
oh,
yeah,
what is
so
that?
yeah, they made you got rid of the mod, and they flat out lied saying we're gonna fix it, and they didn't do anything.
Capcom.
Yeah, no,
Which is weird because I think they fixed the issues with their netcode back for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I haven't played much of it online, but I heard it was a lot better than 5.
yeah, I've heard that too, and it's kind of like weird. Like, if you already fixed it in your next fighting game, why can't you just go back and retrofit it into
You fixed it on the one game no one wanted to play.
the sad
I
thing
mean,
is
come on. To be fair, MVC Infinite is like 100 times better than Marvel the Avengers from Square Enix.
Fair enough.
that is true. We don't,
That has a way smaller budget than whatever Crystal Dynamics had when they were making that game.
I mean, if you have a game where the Hulk throws Ryu at a giant monster from Monster Hunter, I feel like it's adequately better than whatever the story was for
Hmm.
Avengers. So
Also, Ryu and Hulk being best friends, I like that.
I mean, yeah, no, it works.
It works.
Yeah, that works.
That works a lot.
God, that roster still irks me. Not because of what characters are in the game, but the way it's laid out. We have like one little extra Marvel character, and now like he just crosses over to the Capcom side of the roster screen, and that just
Well,
bothers the hell out of me.
I'm pretty positive they wanted to make more characters, but they quickly realized this game.
Like, no, I'm sure they do. Like, they wanted to add more characters. Like, from what I'm hearing, they wanted to add like X-Men characters after releasing the game. They even wanted to bring back the friggin' Juggernaut.
That would have.
The Juggernaut, bitch.
Yeah,
It's a win quote.
yeah.
And if it's not, then
Oh,
they're just gonna mod it on PC to make it a win quote.
I guess so.
And it's even sad. That game was really good.
Yeah, gameplay wise, it was good, but sadly, the roster and the visuals were what killed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the PR, man. Like, oh boy. Uh, that game was fun. I wish a lot of people would give it a chance, but yeah, the way it was handled. Oh
Mm-hmm.
boy.
But
But
that also has, like you said, has good netcode. It makes us all want to play it again. Heck,
yeah, tons of playable functions that we would all love.
I was able to play it online. I'm like, oh my god, this feels so good. Why did I stop playing? Oh yeah, because I didn't have a good roster.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Also,
if it had Phoenix Wright though, it would be a 10 out of 10.
fair enough. He's a really difficult character to use. I mean,
It's not that hard. I mean,
not that hard. Well, anyways, I think we're running out of topics things to talk about. But essentially, Guilty Gear Strive was a really fun game. We were going to talk about something else, but really, I think we're fine. I think we're fine with this.
Yeah, no, this is nice having a nice sort of episode just strictly on just our experience on Strive because
Because Strive is one of those. It's a game that's going to be on a new console. Two, it's a game that not only we're all excited for, but it's implementing something that we always wanted to be in a Japanese game, which is rollback netcode. And three, we finally got to experience a AAA fighting game from Japan having netcode and feeling that sort of fluidity and smoothness. Like, damn near cried because it was so good. Like, you saw me.
I mean, yeah, no, it's definitely like it's life changing, and not to sound weird about it, but like you can never go back to delay based netcode after this. It's like no, I don't want to go back. I want to
like
I want to keep playing
no,
Strive, but the beta's done.
like I never noticed the issue with the light
We
base
both thought,
until I went back after playing rollback.
like, you can't go back. Like, me,
No,
like,
like
we were
I,
both like,
I was like,
oh,
my
you want to
God,
play
was it? It was like, oh my
You're saying?
God, like is that what fighting games were like for all these years? I want more of this rollback stuff.
And like I said now, I never really took that much notice when it came to something like Killer Instinct because that's one of my favorite fighting games right now. Like, the rollback in that is amazing, but you never noticed it because that's how it always been. But when you start playing a game that has never had rollback and then that rollback hits you, you're like, where was this my whole life?
Once you roll back, you can never go back.
Hey, there you go. Now that's a good one. That's a good one.
That should be the title of the show. once you go roll back, you never go back.
Yeah.
But like no, like really, that game was so fun. Like, we were both disappointed that we thought the beta was gonna end at a different time. Then we like try to go into it. We're like, beta has closed. No.
It's like I wanted one more, just one more night, but yeah, it was it turns out I misread the end time, and it was for 7 a.m. and not 7 p.m. So, oops.
That's okay. I did the same mistake too.
Yeah, but yeah, no. I think that's about it, right?
Yeah, no, that's about it. Because like, really, I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like we can continuously gush about all of the fun moments we had with Guilty Gear Strive because it's like I said earlier, it's a game we're looking forward to this next gen. It's a game that's implementing rollback. It's our first time experiencing something like with rollback with a Japanese title. It's seeing it sort of be 10 times better than we ever expected it to be. I mean, that sums it up, and we can keep going, but we're basically talking in circles. I'm already talking in circles, but I just repeated myself like 5 minutes ago.
I mean, yeah, like as a kick-ass soundtrack.
Oh yeah, I'm. Let's just hope that this is the beginning of this console generation fighting games, and the rest come in and knock it out of the park. Maybe with no rollback netcode. We're begging with rollback netcode. Who knows? Listen, Phil Spencer, are you out there? Please give us Killer Instinct 2. I want it.
I mean, I don't think we have to worry about Killer Instinct, potential Killer Instinct 2 not having rollback. I mean, most Western developers have pretty more or less embraced the rollback.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Japan embraced the West. That's something that'll never happen. Anyways, thank you guys for taking a chance to listen to us and basically nerd out the fact that we just love Guilty Gear Strive so much. I didn't think it was going to be this long, but apparently it is this long. And we were able to make it, knock it out of the park. It was not only both interesting in discussion, but also very funny towards the end. If you want to follow us in any form of way to support us, you can follow us through our social medias, which is Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the Geek Centurions. We're more likely to be more involved in Instagram, so check us out there. If you want to follow us on any other thing, it's probably going to be YouTube, where you can put a face to all of our wonderful voices, where we do our, sort of a visual version of our podcast. And, when you're there, you can like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon, all the good stuff that takes for us to be more noticed on YouTube. It'd be really helpful. We also, when you're looking for the audio version, you can look for us in sites like Castbox, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pandora, Spotify, all that good stuff will be there. That's where you probably hear us most. We're probably got a lot more followers there. I'm not saying, I'm not mad about that. But, any form of follow would be great. We do have a Patreon where you can support us in any way. We want to do some we're going to do some more bigger stuff. And hopefully, as soon as all this dies down, we're able to go out. We'll probably do some stuff and let you guys know through our social media and that kind of stuff. Because we just opened a side arcade here in Houston, and I really want to go up against Daniel in whatever fighting game there is.
I mean, you know where I'm at. You can always find me online.
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, they have the Street Fighter Third Strike over at Side Arcade.
What? Third Strike?
Yeah, Third Strike.
Oh, you're so dead
What?
with my Akuma.
I expect to be slaughtered. But if we ever do get a chance, I'd say go to the Dallas one because that one has the Marvel vs. Capcom too.
Yeah, like I'm hoping for that one. I think it was called Round One. They'll open up soon. And I'm all near. I forgot what was it called, but yeah, like they import like Japanese games, and they got these the fighting games too, like Tatsunoko versus Capcom. Again, I wish I played a long time ago for my Wii.
Ooh, that's gonna be fun. But anyways, guys, that's the kind of stuff that we're this is the kind of stuff you get from us. A lot of fun talk, a lot of us embracing what we love, and kind of stuff. Like I said earlier, you can follow us on all of these sites, and hopefully, we'll be able to make some more stuff. And yeah, I think that's about it. So this is the moment where we all give our goodbyes. Starting off with Daniel, tell them, say your goodbye, I guess.
All right, this was Daniel, and remember, bring back KI, and Skullgirls are never dead. We're getting more characters. New season pass, baby.
Yeah,
the hype train never dies. Launch party still going.
I feel like Skullgirls is very much like Melee in that it will never die. But yeah, no, it's
still around.
Yeah, just announced a new season pass, man.
Holy shit! No, I know, but I'm just making a joke.
Yeah, it's been me, Joe.
Catch him on Strive when it comes back out,
hopefully.
And it's been me, your boy Eli. Please bring back Killer Instinct. That's all we want. If Maximilian Dude can make a huge stream tournament, then hope we can get it back. And yeah, hopefully we get some more cool fighting games with rollback. For the love of God, please, KO 15 have rollback. And yeah, that's about it. Hope you guys have a good one. Have a nice time. We are the Geek Centurions. Peace.